I just want to make sure the camera is running. I know it's not great lighting and all that kind of stuff. I got my leg rolling. I was just going to go out to the beach because the Red Sox just won. I can't believe they won again. I feel like this is kind of urgent, and the reason why is I just lost sleep, right? I could not sleep over this Las Vegas shooting and the FBI guys. I mean, I watch these things nowadays. You have to really discern for yourself that whether you're being lied to or not, because the government does lie to you, okay? You understand they're this big monster, gigantic so-called the deep state. They're at work, and not only they're mad because they lost the election with Hillary Clinton, you know, get out of the way, bitch. But the deep state, because them Obama and all these so-called the deep state alone, I would dare to even say that assisting ISIS. If you didn't know, MGM have memos, you know, we're talking about Las Vegas, MGM. They have memos said to all the employees that to encourage them to donate to CARE, which is a Islamic terror organization. Council for the Islamic Council, and we know that you're linked with Muslim Brotherhood. So it's coming clearer. You have to discern for yourself instead of just being fed whatever they feed you, all that crap, for crying out loud. This is what they're trying to do, is dumb you down, get you hooked on drugs, and kill you. Take your money, kill you, and now they're going to take your land. In the name of so-called globalism, you're a racist if you disagree. Wow. You know, speaking of the black helicopters that are flying around on top of me. So, yeah, you wouldn't be surprised that the helicopters are on top of me, right? Because it really doesn't take that much brain to figure this out. Remember I told you this Comey, the investigation, and this whole left accusing there's Russian collusion with Trump, and there's no evidence whatsoever. And I said, if it was an ordinary citizen like you called the police and said, I robbed your house, so the cop says, well, we need to come and gather evidence, and then you told him, oh, no, you hung up on them. But then still you insist that I robbed your house and you want to put me in jail, but you won't let the cops come and gather evidence or take my fingerprints or whatever. This is what the DNC has done, the Democratic Party. They said, oh, it's a collusion because our computer got hacked. It's their records or whatever. The email between Podesta and back and forth, cover up Benghazis and all that kind of stuff. But they disallow the FBI and come and get the server, the computer, the evidence. And still, this rumors out there and people are buying into it. Because I think if you said it enough, people just go, oh, we're so dumbed down. We are so dumbed down. You have to think for yourself instead of saying, oh, you're just a conspiracy theory. Somebody even like wrote on my YouTube channel and said, are you like paid off by the Russian or something? Are you, I think, you know, they're just desperate. Okay, that's funny, but it's not funny. So when I say the conspiracy, you know, I could not sleep because I even saw what's his in the guy. There's the new war room guy. He's just a kid. I don't know his name, Owen or something. Last night I saw that how he broke down the police tapes, which I saw. Well, I mean, they didn't release you the real surveillance tape. I'm talking about the interview with Joseph Lombardi, the sheriff, who first came out. This is like 24 hours, so it's fresh. Those are the real evidences. You have to look at how they're trying. He standing right by, if you see the shot on Fox News, all right, he was accompanied by the FBI guy, Las Vegas region, which I believe the deep state guy, Aaron Roos. This Aaron Roos was staring at this Lombardi. He acted, if you just watch the tape, please, even if you have to search it, Lombardi acted like a school kid. He just didn't have words to say because you have to make up a whole lie. It's a whole bunch of lies. And we caught them in the halfway of his interview or his press conference. And he said, oh, there was a brave security guard named Jesus that went up to the Mandalay Bay, the 32nd floor after shooting. Because remember, the timeline doesn't jive. Supposedly, Paddock was shooting in the very beginning for they say 9 minutes straight, except for reload. But clearly, we can hear different weapons. Pa 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 pa. Boom, 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 boom. Clearly, if you see the tape. So, and then I've seen another tape, even CNN released that. Somebody shot it. There was no muzzle fire. There's nothing from the 32nd floor. The shots were firing from somewhere else. So, what goes back to, I go back to the conference. The Joseph guy, Lombardi, I mean, God bless him. I don't think he was an unrighteous man, but he is just a little fish in a pond and he's caught. He has to be, he has to tell them because he's being pushed out from, oh, you go tell them this, tell them that. But he didn't even make the story jive. He said the first security guard that went up there, 32nd floor, got shot in the leg, Jesus Campos or whatever, they say he was a hero. But this is like an hour after the shooting. They didn't do anything. The cops didn't get up there. The alarm didn't go off. I have to tell you that if you're in one of those hotels, Bellagio, MGM Grand, whatever it is, they are wired to the gills. You cannot open a window. I was there not too long ago. The windows are shut unless you're in the service elevator, which you can open the window, and it's easily for them to put somebody in there and start shooting. So the shots were fired from the lower floor, not 32nd floor. I can guarantee you try to go collect evidences and try to match the bullet casings, the angles, and all that kind of study. But this is just, some of the things that you see. When the guy says, Campos went up there, the door was ajar. And then 2 minutes later, Lombardi, of course he has to make up a story, and then he starts saying, well, the cops showed up, then they have to breach with explosive, meaning they have to put wire explosive to blow open the gate. Wait a minute, you just said that door was open. And alright, so if they have to blow explosive to open the Stephen Paddock's room door, where was the evidence? Because they didn't want to show you any photos except for the photos that they leaked. So-called leaked photos. But it was remember the yellow tape, you seen the photos? The door? There was no explosion. He said they breached. So you have to just go and listen to what he says. But then he couldn't lie. Even, he tried to, Lombardo. Okay, he was being used by them because you gotta go with them because he's the Las Vegas sheriff. Tell him this. But then he says, he just said that for a 63-year-old guy, there's no way. Even, the security in Las Vegas. How are you going to bring up 34 guns? They're long guns. They're really strenuous. They're very heavy firearms without being detected a little bit at a time or whatever. Where's the tannerite? There's so many questions Tannerite's doing in his car. And what about the thousands and thousands? There's another 300 pounds worth of shit. The ammunitions or whatever, and if he didn't run out of ammunition, why did he stop shooting after 9 minutes? And why did it take an hour, 70 minutes for the police to get up there, and they had to call the SWAT and all that? It's not only fishy, this was conjured by the deep state. You say, how could they do that? Of course, at first when I heard that, I go, that's crazy. First you say, well, ISIS and all that, they're the same. You've seen the. Just think about it. Make it flash in your mind. The Antifa people who funds them, Soros, they're shipped to all these places. When I ship bus, they're paid actors. And they're wearing all this black mask and everything with exude violence. There was never seen this kind of violence. And these people are not just paid to kill so-called Trump supporters. Who were killed? Trump supporters. You go, oh, well, Stephen Paddock was supposed to be eyeballing, or he was trying to book another concert, that was a rap concert or whatever. These are called, if you know magic, sleight of hands. Oh, so you think it's there. You know what sleight of hands, right? So they make it sound, this has been planned out. Okay, I'm not making up the theory, because people are so dumbed down by these drugs. These are carefully planned out. This Stephen Paddock, Yes, he fit the profile of an illegal arms dealer because he has his own plane, 2 single engines, that's not so, and he's had millions of dollars, hasn't worked for 30 years. The last time he worked was like Lockheed Martin or and worked for the IRS and an accountant, and he has this millions of dollars. He fits the bill because you can you can fly these illegal arms easily, wiring money to the Philippines and all that kind of stuff. Or maybe this was a FBI sting operation, or they said, and that went sour. But you know what? Like I said, I couldn't sleep, nothing jived. They're lying to you. FBI is lying. You can tell because they would not release any footage, and the leaked footage or the pictures were arranged. It means that, did you see the legs? You saw the legs of Stephen Paddock. Supposedly he shot himself. And if you've seen the graphic photo where the blood came out, there were just 2 bullets. It was arranged. There was no blood on the bullet. I'm just saying, you know, the Democrats are going to learn. They'll try to set it up a little better next time. There was no blood in the bullet, but it was carefully just set it in that big puddle of blood. And supposedly he shot himself, right? Wait a minute. Supposedly he was shooting by the window, but there were a couple of these so-called firearms. If you've seen them, they were staged. One of them, if you've seen the picture, they were like upright, the so-called firearms, in the picture. And what was it pointed to? And one of them was laying on the floor, the other one on this end of the floor by the guy. They were nowhere near the freaking window. And where's the thousands of rounds? Like I was telling you, there were different, thank God for technology that we can videotape, but not only video, you can audio, the boom, 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 from far away. So he's the perfect, Paddock was a perfect scapegoat. Yes, he made a lot of money. He was in this so-called arms sales or what do you call it, illegal firearms dealers and laundering money. That's how they do it, by buying real estate or go to the Vegas casino. People know that. So with all this says, you go, well, where are the evidence? Well, of course they're not going to tell you the evidence. The FBI, the deep state, were in cahoots, right? You know, Robert Mueller, the deep state people, they're still trying to get Donald Trump because why? We're taking the country back. They go, well, let's just start killing some of them. That's why they pick the country music, the so-called Christian Trump voter. That's why they picked the venue and all the other stuff that they said this guy scoped out. It's there just to make believe. They're called make believes. So I just go, all right. There's so many questions, right? Nothing matches up, and now this Lombardo guy is pulled. Meaning from the press conference. And remember, my last tape, I even said my video, I watched the new people FBI set up. Aaron Bruce, which is the Las Vegas director, this guy looks really shady. And then him and there's another Las Vegas under sheriff or whatever. So they got this new people came in. They don't know a thing. They're not like, they're idiots. No, they know everything. They are blinding you and I because they think we're stupid. So this whole Nancy Pelosi is getting the so-called anti-gun bill, and they try to defeat Trump by saying, "Oh, look at you! You're promoting Second Amendment rights," and then more cuckoos. The cuckoos are from the left. Remember, they tried to kill 15 Republican members to force a special election so they can take back the Senate and the House. If they cannot win them at the ballot box, they will try to kill you. That's how serious it is. This is a total war. And then they said, well, we're not going to put some Islamic figure like, the ones in San Bernardino to do this. So they picked the white guy to make him the scapegoat. They killed him. You can tell the way they arranged the so-called couple of ARs there. You don't see, there were supposed to be tons of shells. And then it doesn't match where his leg was on, it's like somebody arranged it the position of the firearm was under his leg. So you're asking, you have so many questions. And also, what happened to the people? Not just saying that these FBI so-called investigators, they're not only acting stupid, they're trying to shut us up by saying, oh, we don't know anything. Call 1-800-FBI if you have any clues. That's a lie. That's a lie. If you know, there were two people. There was like they said they look Hispanic, but they could be Middle Easterners. Because they came in and warned, I don't know who they were, but 45 minutes before the concert started, they went to the front row and there was interviews, if you just see the YouTube video, of a 21-year-old woman who celebrates her birthday and the mom. They said these two, especially the woman, were just like delirious. You all gonna die. You all gonna die. All right? And people are like, concert's gonna start, they're drinking beer, and then there comes this hysterical woman. They thought she was Hispanic, but the security came and pulled her away. So they're all in on it. Who chose the location? This is all, it's all in my head. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, yeah. I was listening to the analysis of this Owen from InfoWar, and it's good. There's so many information. I go, yeah, sure, because he said, he made an analogy like, the Illuminati or the Las Vegas resort. They also have meanings, like Luxor. It's with the Egyptian, how they sacrifice people. It's right next to the Harvest concert menu, the Jason Aldean venue. If you look at the map, then the way he said it, Owen said it's almost like a satanic ritual, a sacrifice to mass murder to kill a lot of lives, sacrifice to the evil. If you've seen the Luxor resort, it is very demonic looking, because it's just like the ancient Egyptians. It's all blacked out with the big statues out there. So all these things in my head, and this morning I woke up and guess I was talking bad about Google and everything, but Google has sent me a news and I go, it's all liberal, CNN or whatever. And my Red Sox is playing. I don't have time for this. So I kind of scroll down. I say, yeah, this is Newsweek. Another liberal thing. They all try to lie. They all try to say this guy's white Christian, Paddock. They try to say that Christians are nuts and we have to take away your guns. Wait a minute. And then I went down to the articles. All of a sudden it popped in my eyes. It says something with, it just says, follow the money, with insider trade. I go, what the hell, insider trade? I'm going to put that link here because it's shocking. Yes, you follow the money. That's exactly right. And when I read what it says, it just had a screen capture, and I don't know if I can post that, of the CEOs of the MGM. By the way, if you didn't know, MGM Grand, that owns the Mandalay Bay, right? The CEO, James Murren. Remember, James Murren is one of deep state, that his wife, Heather Murren, served in the Obama administration, but James Murren was appointed by Obama as the so-called Homeland Security Council, or they're made up of 30 people. So, it's all insider. They're insider. He was the one that has this a sheet, the memo, telling employees to give it to CARE, to give it to Southern Poverty Center. I know I'm really excited, but I was like, okay, what's going on here? And I saw the screenshots. Oh my God! These CEO, the board of directors, they were dumping the stocks from the MGM stocks. They're dumping them like garbage. Before the shooting, which occurred on October 1st, like I was saying to you, these people are not stupid to pick the dates. And the dates for them to dump there was from the 6th of September to the 12th. It has a whole list. I mean, these, remember there's a big thing with insider trade and all that kind of stuff. So You know, these are public information. You can't keep them away. Follow the money. They are so bold. He knew. That's why he dumped, and all the other CEOs were dumping all the stocks. But he dumped, he had 15% left of it. Just think about it. CEO of MGM dumped 85% of his stock, and it says that he was selling them at $33.13 a piece, a share, or whatever. So, we're talking about millions of dollars, all right? Wouldn't you dump this stock if you're in on it? Yeah, you say get rid of this fucking casino. Because, you know, there's going to be lawsuits, and you know you're going to lose so much money. This is not even funny. And then I just go, oh my God. It's really literally falling from your eyes. Like, Lord, you're a genius. Because no matter how smart people think they are, how wicked they are, it's what? Follow the money. God is bigger than all that. They were trying, you know, the Kimmel and everybody in on this whole thing and brainwash us and said that you're evil if you're for NRA. They were trying to paint the picture, and they tried to change the narrative to about gun owners. But don't forget, and they hate the cops too, because it takes another person with a firearm and with the training. They don't tell you that. A lot of times that's what happens to subdue the evil. So what has happened, like Scalise shooting Hodgkinson, he was put down because of someone else that had a firearm and were able to use it and stop them. They don't tell you that. Boy Home Alone in Tennessee, dad is gone, and three robbers came into his house, and he was trained by his father with the AR. He was able to shot those intruders and scare them off. There's just so many stories in different places that it takes somebody who's trained, has the firearm. I would feel safe. Just look at Jimmy Kimmel. He is a fucking liberal, liar, hypocrite. He talks about, no, you can't have guns, but he's paying, what, 4 or 5 bodyguards with firearms, all right? So basically, hey, you know, put your mouth where your money where your mouth is. However that saying goes, you know. Or just like the Bronco guy who's making fun of me. 你只要打打屁股. I can always blame the people. Oh yeah, blame the Russians, right? When did you see somebody like from Russia or something? You know, Beznov and Chekhov. Yeah, sure, right. I would love to have some of those visitors, right? So, anyways, I don't know. Where's my train of thought? That was fantastic. Follow the money. All these people are the deep state, but I'm smiling. But you know, you ought to be scared. You ought to be really, really scared, because when I say scared, I know I sound like I'm from the South or whatever, but this is just the way to sort of, you know, because otherwise I have this Oriental accent. But you ought to be scared that how these people, they're taking over this country, and if they cannot win at the ballot box, which they couldn't, as you know, Hillary Clinton also have a what do you might call the Muslim sisterhood, Huma Ebedin would become the Secretary of State. And we are so fried. We are so done. And we already had a Muslim president in the White House that colluding. And not only that, I don't know how he got the $145 billion cash he gave to the Iranians. So now Iranian owns a lot of these casinos in Las Vegas and all that. What I'm saying is, where is safe for us? It's not safe for us with NFL stars that trample on the Star Spangled, that you know, hate our country and hate the national anthem, and then this narrative about white people are evil, gun owners are evil, Antifa people actually go out there and burn down you know, buildings and use weapons to hurt people. that are Trump supporters. So they are coming after us. They're coming after us with firearms. If you didn't know that, just check a lot of these so-called shooting range. They're booked block at a time by these Islamist, by these Antifa groups. So I don't know, what should we do? What should we do? But I'm gonna put that link, because if you see enough evidence, then you can make a very so-called like informative decision. When I say informative decision, instead of like just listen to what the government tells you and then you're like a robot. That's the reason why they want you to hook on drugs. So pharmaceutical companies are also indirectly responsible. They got the Stephen Paddock hook on drugs, and they said there was some kind of adrenaline beverage, because I guess some people are very thorough. I mean, I'm not that thorough in looking at evidences, but once they pointed out the cart outside of Stephen Paddock's door, remember he had 2 cameras set up, and Owen was asking a question, why does he need 2 cameras? There's only hallway coming to his room is one angle, but he had wire this way, but there was another one to in fact the main suite, the shooter, because he rented 2 suites, and one was in the name of Mary Lou Hangley, who's a person of interest, so-called. She's a Filipino, and as you know, Philippines is riddled now. It's almost, I hate to say that taken over by ISIS, but they're fighting. I read an article in Filipino news that ISIS went to this village and jumped over this old guy's wall. He was like 83 years old in his yard. So the ISIS came with seriously with machine guns and stuff like that. And I beg the question, who's sending them arms? Again, these are $1 million business. Goes back to the Benghazi. It's all these dirty dealings that Hillary Clinton, Benghazi, using Stevens. There were shiploads, and I'm talking about our Navy ships. And you know how Obama was doing all that? He was using our resources, our ships, and even our naval bases to accommodate the DACA people. If you didn't know, ask the people in Port Wainimi. What do you think that we have to keep our mouth shut? Just, because people don't say anything, he got away with this shit. He was using our Navy ships to transport firearms, and Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. Now, through Libya, that's why Christopher Stevens, the ambassador, has to be killed. And that's why there was nobody respond. Nobody respond to the call. Like, 911, hang up. They hang up. They hang up. And that's how they left him there being brutally murdered and sodomized by these ISIS people. So if that does not make you blood boil, I don't know what does. I'm just saying, then you might as well be a zombie. So wake up, research, and click on some of the videos with the shooting, and listen to yourself, and listen to what Lombardi was saying, and then this Aaron Bruce from FBI was saying. So just get a little clue. You don't have to be buried in it. But like I said, this is hard evidence. Follow the money. Jim Murren, part of the deep state, sold the stocks 85% on September the 6th. So most of their board of directors sold their shares through 6th of September to the 12th of September. Look it up for yourself. All right.